right, the anthropologist, human researcher, none other than Percy Comrades. Welcome back to the Butterflies podcast, where I get to yap for at least 5 minutes about my OCs and their universe. On today's episode, we're talking about Percy Comrades. Percy Comrades. Where do I begin with him? We're gonna go a bit out of order here, and let's go... Percy is one of the three main characters of the Butterflies series. His debut comes in Book 2, where he stumbles into the main realm, Earth, where he would make his new home. When he first arrives in Book 2, he is 13 years old, and by the events of the fourth book, he is 17 or 18. His powers. A lot of Percy's powers seem to be like Jamie and Len's, however different. Percy has shadow teleportation, shadow magic, shadow control, and a beast form. He is a full-blown shadow being, no glitch beings, no spellcasters, just pure shadow being. He comes from a realm known as the Shadow Realm. Insert anime reference here. Percy's relationships with the characters. With Jamie, they get along pretty well. Percy likes asking Jamie information on humans and spellcasters, mostly spellcasters, as Percy's main aspiration is to research a whole bunch of different species. He finds it super interesting. With Len, they also get along pretty well. However, Percy talks to Jamie more than Len. Lucy. Lucy is Percy's adopted mother. She's the one who saw Percy and was like, "You're my kid now. Get in the car." Emma is also his adopted mother, given by the fact that Lucy and Emma are married. Junie. He gets along really well with Junie, as they are more level-headed than the people who they hang around with. Austin. I feel like Austin and Percy kind of complement each other in terms of Percy is, again, more level-headed, while Austin is a bit more rambunctious, but he's also composed because he's had time to learn and grow. Sprout. Oh boy, where do I begin with Sprout? Percy adores Sprout, as Sprout is Percy's partner. This brings me to one of my other bullet points, particular moments I like. And I'm actually going to read what I have for this scene so far in the book. When it ever does come out, the scene will probably be changed a bit, but it is there nonetheless. I'm actually going to go over two scenes, because I like two scenes. There he stood in front of the entrance of the school. He dug in his book bag looking for his schedule that he had shoved in his folder. The day started with homeroom. His homeroom was in history. Percy began looking around the building. He was mindlessly wandering around trying to find the correct room to go to. He felt like it was running in circles. His head was spinning as he opened a door and leaned on the other side. The sound of what sounded like a rock band filled the room. "Done!" whipped through the room, echoing off the walls. 10 minutes before the bell, too. "One more, or Sprout, Earth to Sprout," a feminine voice said, calling out to a kid. "Huh? Oh, I'm gonna go see what this kid wants," Sprout said as he walked over to Percy. "So, what's your deal? Why are you here?" he asked Percy. Sprout wore a blue beanie. His hair was a split dye, most of it was black, with a section in the front dyed red. He also wore a blue jacket that also showed a bit of a black and teal striped shirt. The jeans he also wore were gripped at the knees. "I'm lost," Percy said, handing his schedule to the kid. Sprout looked at the schedule for a good minute before grabbing his book bag. "You're in luck, kid. I'm heading to that class. Leo, Jewel, pack it up. I'm heading to class," Sprout called out to his friends. "Say, I don't know your name." "Oh, right, I'm Percy," he said as he walked out of the room. "Was that a band?" Percy questioned him. It was then that he saw the scars that littered their face. "What happened there?" Percy said, referring to the scars. That is where I'll end this scene. While the next scene Well, that scene was from chapter 8. This scene is from chapter 14. Spoiler warning for a confession. So, just so you know. I'm gonna start a little before. Here we go. Like, I'd enjoy that class, science, if the teacher wasn't like 90-something years old. Percy laughed at the little comment that Sprout made. You know, you're pretty cool, Sprout told Percy. Percy felt himself, for the first time ever in his life, go full-blown red. Sprout chuckled. Percy stammered. Sprout patted Percy's back as he covered his face with his beanie. The two of them sat there for a good minute. Both of them didn't dare to make eye contact or even a sound. The only thing that filled the two's ears was the music coming from the vinyl record that was still playing on the record player. Percy. Sprout, once again, was the one to speak up first. Percy looked at Sprout. The two of them could see each other blushing. He likes me back? I can't believe it. What if he doesn't like me back and is nervous because he's sheltered? Oh god, I'm jumping to conclusions. Focus, Sprout. Sprout's brain was panicking. What do I do? What the heck is this freaking feeling? Why does my body feel all weird? Am I sick? I think I'm sick. Percy felt as if he was nauseous. This panic caused his breath to hitch slightly. Percy, no. I know I love you, Sprout said, looking straight at Percy. Love? Love? Was this the romantic love he had seen between Lucy and Emma? And why did it actually feel nice? It's okay if you don't. I think I love you too. Percy hugged Sprout. The two of them couldn't have wished for more, and slowly Percy's breathing would calm. And that is where I ended chapter 14. Reading that out loud. But those are two scenes that I love with Percy. Both of them involve Percy and Sprout as the center focus. As the story goes on, and by the third book, Percy kind of becomes, I guess, like the information guy. He is the one to provide context for the scenario that you're in. And yeah, Leo and Jewel. I think we have a scene with Leo in Chaotic Sleepovers. Actually, we're gonna go, this one doesn't involve Leo, but it involves Lake. I want to go over this scene because I can. Percy was playing some card game with Sprout, Leo, and Lake. Lucas and Josh were playing a round of a fighting game. So, Percy, have any hobbies? Lake asked him. Percy immediately reached out for his notebook. Writing? Lake asked him. Close, I guess. But no, researching. Percy opened the notebook. A bit of scratchy handwriting with some symbols the boys couldn't figure out. Humans, illnesses, spellcasters, shadow beings, hybrids. It's all just interesting to me, Percy said, rubbing the back of his head. I'll be. Jewel's right. You really are a nerd, Leo announced. She called me a nerd, Percy asked Leo. Yeah, she did. Hybrids, Blake asked, cutting Leo off. Oh, the hybrids! Turns out Jamie and Lena are both hybrids. A combination of shadow being and spellcaster, Percy began to explain to Lake. After that, we end up cutting to Jamie. There's also a good scene in this chapter, which is chapter 16, same one as the scene I just read, that we get to see a bit more of like Percy being accepted in the house. A lot of it is Percy being accepted in the house. However, I also want to talk about this scene because I can. Lucy knocked on the door. The wedding was in about a month. Percy had shown up in March. It was now April. About a month had passed since they first met him. Luckily, it was on an odd but normal for Indiana for a few days in March. So, he wasn't freezing. Who is it? 6 voices called out in rough unison. Lucy, I want to speak with Percy. Lucy could have sworn she heard a few oohs coming from the basement. Come in, Percy called out. Lucy opened the door to the basement and walked downstairs. Shut up, Percy told Leo. Kids, anyway. Percy. She beckoned him to follow her up. Percy hopped off his bed and shot a glare at Leo and ran up the stairs with Lucy. Is everything okay, Mama? Percy asked. See, I just wanted to ask you, how would you feel about being the best man at a wedding? Lucy asked her son. She watched the gears turn in his head before his eyes widened and then quickly softening, then turning to confusion. Who's getting married? He offhandedly asked. Me and my beautiful fiancée, Emma. You've met her a couple of times. Percy's eyes widened and simply stared at her. You want me as the best man? Lucy nodded. Yes, see, or something. Percy hugged Lucy. Lucy hugged him back. And for heck and giggles, Jamie bolted out of the girls' room before booking it to the basement. What was that? Percy asked Lucy. Oh, just James running out of the girls' room with makeup on and into your room. Lucy finished her sentence just in time to hear laughter coming from the basement. There is one more scene in chapter 15, because I am just going to read this and then talk more about Percy. I'm going to shower, Percy said as he dragged his book bag out of the car. It was then that Percy had noticed a cord sticking out of a pocket on his book bag. The cord was white, and on one end was connected to what seemed to be chew buds, while the other end was connected to a small silver object. Percy had never seen this before. There also seemed to be a sticky note stuck to it that read, "My dad recently got me a phone, so you can have my old MP3 player. It has my favorite songs on them, with plenty of room to add any songs you want to add. Sprout." The note had a heart after Sprout's name. I just like writing scenes between Percy and Sprout, as, I'll be honest, they're cute together. I think I've covered all that I can for Percy. Originally in this outline, I had written that I would have a Q&A episode. I had originally recorded one before, however, I lost the first half of the recording and could not find it no matter how many cards I checked. So I don't really want to do a Q&A app. Although I think I'm going to do, because I liked hearing myself read all those words. I think what I will do for my next episode is that as the send-off finale episode, I go over scenes from these characters I like. Till then, this is J/DJ Terry